Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide also like to spend a few minutes each morning discussing a Bible text. Working on a Kingdom Hall makes no difference. All you do is stop working, stop the machines, stop everything.
Very much, brothers. Lovely to hear peace and quiet, isn't it? Just for a moment. Brothers, our program now, we're going to hand over to Brother Jack Byrne, who will conduct our morning text and prayer. And then some sections of the tradesmen will be going off for breakfast. So we'll hand over now to Brother Jack Byrne.
Very pleasant morning, brothers, it's dawn for us to be able to discuss the text. And it's very appropriate because it talks to us in the main. May like to pick on the text for the morning, Revelation 7 and verse 14, wherein it says, "These are the ones that come out of the great tribulation, and they have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb."
Where only a few minutes ago it was all systems a go, now wherever you look, people are sitting and listening to the daily text discussion. Then it was back to work for some, whilst some went off for breakfast. The work is moving along well now, and here we see the eastern wall being cut out of the old hall. It's now 9 a.m. and the temperature is really rising, and brothers find various ways of cooling off. Part of the old hall's western wall is also removed to make way for the new entrance doors. Look at the length of those roofing sheets. They fit right across the hall. Whilst brothers and sisters are busy working on the hall, other brothers and sisters are busy looking after the children at the Elizabeth Bruce playground, not far from the hall construction site. To Jehovah's Witnesses, the Kingdom Hall is the most important building in any community. It may of itself be attractive in design and construction, but even if comparatively modest in external appearance, it is greatly appreciated as a center of true worship and the hub of theocratic activity in the community. It gives evidence that the Kingdom Good News is being preached locally. It is a place that provides genuine spiritual refreshment and instruction for all those who are conscious of their spiritual need. However, the construction is drawing to a close now for this weekend, and the carpet is being put into the hall, ready to be laid next weekend. Well, after one weekend's work, this is how the hall looked. Some work continued during the week at the hall, but the main activity was to be at Bow Desert, where the chairs were to be upholstered. And on Wednesday morning, a small convoy of brothers and sisters left Durack to take part in this activity. Fabric and foam had to be marked and then cut out. This meant perhaps working on hands and knees, or bending at a rather back-breaking angle over benches. Meanwhile, tents were being erected as most of the brothers and sisters were staying overnight. Right through the night, the work continued, gluing and sewing. There was work for everyone, even the young ones. And finally, there they were, a sample of the finished product. Back home at the hall, hundreds of plants were brought in during the week, ready for the second weekend's activity. The big mountains of soil we had out front was very quickly devoured by a mighty little bobcat. In the early 60s, the small Oxley congregation territory spread from the Brisbane River at the Indooroopilly Bridge through the suburbs of Chelmer, Graceville, Sherwood, Corinda, Oxley, Inala to Willawong and Pallara in the south, and west to include Jindalee, Mount Ommaney, Jamboree Heights, Wacol, Gales, Goodna, Camira, etc. In the late 60s, the Oxley congregation had grown to such an extent that it became necessary to form a second congregation in the area. And so the Inala congregation was formed, and the territory was divided into two. The interest in the area continued to grow, and in the mid-1970s the Red Bank congregation was formed, taking several of the western suburbs like Goodna and Gales through to the Ipswich area into its territory, and a Kingdom Hall was built at Gales, and this was dedicated on the 12th of May 1979. In the early 1980s, the name of the Oxley congregation was changed to Durack, and the Inala congregation became known as Richlands. Well, as you see, by 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, the carpet layers are at work, putting the finishing touches to the floor. And once they get going, they really move along. By the wee small hours of Sunday morning, some workers just had to have 40 winks, some right where they worked. But the interior decorators had to keep going all night. When the carpet layers had finished their job, the sisters moved in with the vacuum cleaners. Wherever you worked over these 2 weekends, one thing that was felt by all was the heat. We spoke to Brother Alvin Jehu, who was responsible for organising these much appreciated cold drinks.
Well, Alvin, it's been a pretty hot weekend. Last weekend was even hotter, 37 degrees and 45 degrees up on the roof here during our building project. How did you go with coping with all the thirsty workers?
I'll sum it up by saying,
How many litres of cordial do you reckon they went through, Alvin?
about 124 to 150 litres of cordial.
Of cordial, so made up, that's what, about 2,500 litres?
2,500 litres. Actually, if you work it out, about 6 cups to a litre, you'll work it out for yourself. That's how many drinks we serve.
It's a lot of drinks, isn't it? And
amazing.
A lot of ice to keep all that cool?
Yes, we spend around about $200 worth of ice coming in regularly.
And how did you manage to keep all those drinks cool?
We put them in a freezer that I brought up myself, and we had a temperite 44-gallon drum to be able to put the ice in that, and a coil went round and round and round in circles and covers over the top of this and fix it up with a tap on the other side, and the water coming in from one end, going through the ice, coming out the other end, it was icy water.